it is useful to check how the company paid dividends over a long time frame, right? And you kind of get a feel for how much money you're getting from the company if you invest it for dividend purposes. And this is interesting. It kind of long term it kind of grows, but you really need to compare your dividend yield to risk-free income, such as the gold standard for that is 10-year government bonds, right? So you can access those in inside charts. Here you have all the Federal Reserve metrics. They have special coding, and 10-year bonds have this DGS 10. I think these codes come from Federal Reserve itself. So these are the yields for 10 years, and of course we can kind of draw and compare the charts, but wouldn't it be nice to create your own chart that kind of takes your dividend yield and subtracts 10-year treasury yield to kind of get a feel of how much this dividend compares to if you just invest it in bonds, right? So that's what we're gonna do. The scripting allows that. So let's create a new lesson 5 script, and what we'll do is so let's do it for just one company. I chose MMM, so let's do that. MMM is 3M, obviously, a huge conglomerate. So yeah, let's say ticker is MMM, and we'll go and essentially to start building a chart over a time frame, you need to create a for loop for each day within this long time period. And how we're gonna do that? We're gonna use our favorite for loops, and in this case the variable will be called day, and we'll be starting with day 0. And in this Tickernomics system, day 0 is essentially a starting day of accessible data. Currently it's 10 years, so 0 would be 10 years ago. And how to know what day is right now? There is a helper function for that, get total days. So I think there is like a get day. You know what, let me just check in help, just not to make a mistake here. Get to today. Oh, there is get today day, which is better functions than total days. Get today day. Why I'm not getting a suggestion? Oh, here it is. Get today day. And we'll increment it every single day. And now we have variable day changing from 0 to today's day. So we can build a chart for each such day. So what data we need to pull for each day? We need to pull the metric for, so we need to use get xbrl, and then here we have ticker. Actually we don't even need this variable, right, in this case. So we'll just put it here, and then the next one is day, so we'll day. Then the second, which is empty string, and the last one is value names. So we gonna use, let me just double check the name of the variable. I think it was called dividend yield. Dividend yield. Okay, good. yield. So that's our dividend yield. And the other number we need to pull is what was in each of those days during 10 years, what was the value for 10-year treasury yield. And for that we use something different. We have a function called getSource, and then the function name for each of those properties. So getSource thread, we need to find our treasury DGS10. It is and you just specify day here. Okay, let me just skip 100 days just to print it out, so it's not a huge list to print. So I just want to print these numbers first before I do the actual chart. Alright, so we can see that the numbers look good, and so we don't need this anymore. Now we switch back to everyday, and we'll use the functions to create a chart. So to do that, again, my memory is not perfect, so I always like to check. To create charts, you use so-called prop by day functions, which is get, set, store to store permanently, load from permanent storage. So we really just gonna create a temporary chart, so we'll just probably need just this one function, set property by day, and it takes value name. Essentially that would be your chart name, the day, and the number. It's very simple. Set property by day. Let's call the chart MMM yield dividend yield versus 10-year treasury. Little bit long, but it's fine. It describes what it is, and here we'll use current day. So in this loop, as this loop runs, you have this variable changing from 0 to today day incrementally, and we will call this function many times for each day, and the value here will be dividend yield minus yield of 10-year treasury. I suspect it will mostly be negative number, because but maybe I'm wrong, we'll see. Okay, that's it. Run. Okay, it's done. Let's check our inside charts. So now besides all the Federal Reserve and Treasury charts, you can see our chart created here, div yield versus 10-year Treasury. And here it is. This is how it looks like. I'm surprised, it's actually mostly positive. So why would you want to even invest in 10-year Treasury if you have, because 10-year Treasury's weakness is inflation sensitive, right? If there's inflation, money gets cheaper and you kind of lose your money in a long term. But if you own a company, the inflation maybe can hit a company price at the very moment when inflation is high, But then over long term, of course, an asset that has underlying real value like obviously has plants, and it's a serious company with supply chain and everything. That stuff during long prolonged inflation will not lose that much value, and also it pays a dividend which is mostly higher than 10-year treasury. So what can be better than that, right? The only thing is was falling for some time. I think this company doesn't perform very well. But anyways, this is how you create charts of your own. Thank you.